I'm going to show you how to determine where the straps are going to go for the parachute clips. I prefer to start on this side where the decorative bolt looking things are. Basically 90 degrees from here, I draw a pencil line. That's the really easy starter. Okay, so there and there. And this is a 1-inch nylon strap. So I just lay that up against there, make sure it's kind of about 90 degrees. And then I trace that side. Move it over to here. And I trace that side. So this section is where, this is about 4 inches long. Yes, 4 inches long. This is going to be on the receiving side of the parachute clip. This is going to go through here. And it's going to loop. And then this is what's going to get affixed to the inside here. So you're going to have both of those. Hopefully you can see that. You're going to have both of those right here. All right, so that's fairly simple. What's going to go on up here is, so this is the compad side. Let me grab something real quick. Okay, so how to get a 9-volt. So on the compad side, the 9-volt battery is going to sit right here in that corner. Okay, just like that. And then right behind there, give yourself just a little bit of room. Okay, so draw where that battery sits. It's right between there. And then get your strap, and that's going to go behind the battery, just like that. All right, so that leaves a little bit of space there. Then on this one, the distance changes a little bit on them. Let me actually get my flexible ruler, because I think that'll be a little bit easier to see. It is just a little, from that edge to about there, just a little bit over 1/8 of an inch. Like somewhere between 1/8 of an inch and just less than 1/2 an inch. It does seem to vary a little bit. Yeah, because if I put that on the 1/2 inch mark, the end of it ends on the 2 inch. So maybe it is almost a 1/2 inch gap there. So I've just been eyeballing it about, here's the distance, and about there. So just maybe under a 1/2 inch. I've been drawing up a bunch of these here, and then put that there. So that's going to give you the strap on this side. It's going to be much longer, and that's what's going to have the bricks. And the numbers seem to change. Seems to be anywhere between 7, sometimes 8, and also sometimes 5. And those are, so what's going to happen is this is going to get affixed here. Those bricks are going to be glued onto here. Imagine this is longer, sorry. And then it will come and go through, let's see, this side. So this strap can adjust. I'll show you a finished piece when we're all done, but I just wanted you to kind of have that in mind, that the prong side is going to affix to the top side, and the receiving end of the clip is going to be affixed to the bottom end of the compad. And mostly it was just to give you idea of spacing. Again, just to repeat myself, 9-volt battery sits right here. Your strap's right behind there. That's no more than a 1/2 inch gap from that point over to the beginning of the strap. These sit just between the decorative Allen head pieces. So they're going to go right there, right there, right there, and right there. All right, that's how the straps affix to the inside of the compad for the tactical agents. All right, so we're going to be using the JB Weld plastic weld. This one says, multi-purpose, most hard plastics, ABS, fiberglass, PVC, glass, vinyl, most composite. So to me, it was important that it says ABS, because we're going to be affixing these straps to the vac-formed forearms or van brace, whatever you want to call it. It comes with a little mix stick, but I definitely am going to have a few more. So the plan is I'm going to extrude a little bit, make sure I mix it really well. My sewing machine is not accessible right now, so otherwise you would use the 4-inch straps that we mentioned, loop that around. You can just stitch it there. I can't. So I'm going to actually put the epoxy between here and just clamp it. And I'm going to do all of them like that first. Then I'm going to go back with them already glued tight to the parachute clip and affix them to the inside of the van brace with the same epoxy. But the reason why I'm doing this is I don't want to use the clamp on the van brace. What I'm going to be doing is going back to my template that I had made previously to drill out the holes. And if you can imagine this was our good one, then these would be here and the other one would be there. And I would lay this down on top and then add a weight on there rather than clamping, because I don't know this material very well, but sometimes when things weld together, they get hot. And if I had a clamp to the outside of my van brace, it could leave a clamp mark. And I've already painted mine, so I definitely don't want that to happen. So I'm trying to find another way to prevent that by applying pressure without having potential damage to the outside of the van brace. So that's how I'm going to put these straps on. All right, so we're going to attach. So last night we glued these, let them sit overnight, much longer than what it needs. It technically only needs 5 minutes. Just put out some more on a plate, stirring this out really good. This stuff has a bad odor, so just kind of be mindful of that when you're using it. My son's hopefully he can jump in frame here and we'll kind of give you an assistant. He's going to assist and give you a better view of what we're doing here. So we're gluing to the bottom side here next to the screw post areas of detail, as I mentioned before about where to mark these out. And I was originally trying to find a way to not have to use clamps on these, but I think it's going to work out just fine because it actually doesn't appear to get hot. Oh, I'm also putting a little bit on the ends so it doesn't fray. I am putting it on both sides, meaning on the van brace and here, just to ensure a good bond instead of just on one side and clamp. But I want to make sure that it doesn't fray, so I'm pushing that onto here. Okay, so then basically that's going to just sit over the edge here. Clamp, sit over the edge here. Clamp without getting my thumb or finger in there. And I'm going to turn it over and make sure that they're straight and clean and about the same distance hanging out. If it's a little messy, just get another stick and wipe away the excess. And that's it for that side. The other side, a little bit different. We'll explain that, but this is these receiving end of the parachute clip again only gets glued to the side with the 4 decorative Allen screw heads, just like that. Okay. Oh man, my workspace is such a mess. We are on the last day to finish these, and I thought I would just show how to loop the nylon webbing. So first of all, I just used the lighter and I burnt all the ends real quick so that it wouldn't continue to fray. So you got the prong side and the adjustable sleeve thing. I don't really know what this is called, but let's see if I can do this in the right direction. Again, I keep confusing myself. Yeah, because so that goes this way. All right. So it's got the grooves right here. That's to create the friction. And I like to have it where it wants to naturally curl this way. And I'll go through that first. I don't know, maybe about 5 inches. And then I'll go back through there. Okay. And then that should give me, let's go a little more. About 3 inches extending there for the adjustable, maybe a little more because still have plenty here. All right, so then that's like that, and then this one, so you can see it has a slight curve to it, and you're going to put it through there, and then feed both of them back through there. And then what you want to do is make sure that this adjustable piece is as close as possible to the prong side of the parachute clip. Give yourself a little bit of, make sure it's not binding up on it like that. Okay, so this is how you're kind of used to seeing the strips, but it's actually going to glue in this way. So actually I probably should have ran it the other way so it would naturally want to curl in the direction. I just did that opposite right now. But this is where it's going to glue in and come and flip and go like this, and this is the side that the bricks are going to glue onto. These are extra long, so you can cut them down as needed. Again, this is the side that will glue, flip around. The brick will start gluing as close to the vambrace forearm piece as possible and go across and then stop before the adjustable piece. It seems to be about 5 or 6 of these bricks, and maybe some of them 7. So they seem to change in length. It seems to be a little bit shorter here, a little bit longer in the front there because of it being the shorter side. And foam or padding is needed on the back to create an offset, which would then make these straps a little bit longer than your arm. So you need to factor in, you got your sleeves from the two-neck padding, and yeah, that's it. So basically that's how those straps go together. So I'm just looping a bunch of them right now because we got to glue them to the other side shortly. All right, so I took the sample straps off that we've been using. This is going to be the side that's closest to the elbow, which is the wider portion. And the next one, the wrist, is where it's more narrow. And what I'm finding out, and this is going to be different for everybody, but it is, so this is going to be my glue mark right up to the edge here. And the edge for that glue mark is about 1 1/8 inches, or maybe 1 inch probably more like 1 1/4 inches. Yeah, I'm looking at that now. It's about 1 1/4 inches difference. So the one by the wrist is longer, and this is, yeah, measuring out to be about 1.5 inches. It could be 1 1/4 inches, 1 1/8 inches, or whatever, based on your arms. But you got to keep in mind we're putting a 1-inch padding behind here to create the offset needed because it's not tight against the clothing. So that's going to vary for you, but just kind of give you an estimation that you are looking about 1 inch to 1.5 inches difference in length. But we are providing these for the kits. Currently we are providing the 12-inch long strips. So that gives you plenty of room, which essentially that's all glue space there, so that's plenty. And then of course the 4-inch strips, so you can glue to the other side. At least in our initial run, we are planning to include all of this, the parachute clips, the adjusters, the strapping, so forth. So I just want to give you an idea of what you're looking at for measurements there. All right. So after more test fitting, found out the distance for the elbow area and the wrist area are actually the same. I originally thought it was about 1 inch longer, but the overall circumference of our wrists is smaller than the larger forearm area, even though the distance between here and here, would assumedly need to be longer because of the height difference, but ironically ends up being the same length. So it could be different for you, but just letting you know that we are now moving it there and they are just about equal now. So just a heads up, double, triple, quadruple check all your measurements, tape things in place, try it on with padding, with your tunic on and gloves or whatever else you need to ensure that you're getting it where it needs to be. And because the adjustable isn't really truly adjustable, especially after you glue the bricks on, then that's it. So there just isn't a whole lot of play left to adjust. You can make it bigger, but you can't really make it smaller because the bricks do come pretty close to the adjuster. So and it looks like we have about a total of 6 that will fit for the elbow area, and about 5 that will fit for the wrist area. So yeah. Okay, so Trent had a great idea to clip them into place first. W for wrist, E for elbow. We've already mixed up the material. It does go fast. We've already sanded where the straps are going to affix on the inside here. So I'm just applying this glue to the armor portion first. Oh yeah, let's take those clamps off there. Can you reach the other one too, Trent? Yeah. All right, so we get those off. Okay, so now it's important to have all your marks predetermined on your strap of where the glue needs to go. I made that adjustment there, as I mentioned earlier, that I found out that they're pretty close to being the same length. I did burn the ends of the strap to keep that from fraying. So what I found is if you do between the pencil marks and your alignment mark right there, and then this ice clamp seems to work pretty well, going through the outside and making that connection there, and press everything down. And then this one, it's a little bit tricky to get it to align between there and there. The smaller clamp. Oh, it moved on me. Let's try that again. Slide that back down. Clamp that. There's a little bit of wiggle room there when you're, put that out of the way. When you're first applying that, the glue kind of lets the nylon slide a little bit. So I'm just making sure that my pencil marks are where they need to be on the edge of the vambrace here, and that they are within the lines there. And then if you need to, you can go back and just add a little bit more underneath the strap and affix that down. I think this one already did, but I can't remember. Nope. Let's just do that a little bit more. Doesn't need much. Just gonna be a little tedious and clean up the inside edge there. Make sure this is all pushed down in place. And that's it. So remember, we already glued these two parts together, glued that earlier today, and now we're affixing this to the opposite side and leaving a little gap between here and here, a little gap between there, leaving enough room, as I mentioned, for a 9-volt battery. In case you want to do the LED lights, that's where it's supposed to go. And that's about it. So it is a little bit of a tighter distance here, and it does get a little bit wider here, so it does kind of fan out. They're not perfectly parallel to each other. And there you go.